And we are live. We'll be waiting on Phoenix to join us tonight. We have another special guest that will be coming on. I know I didn't drop a message out for this show because it was a last minute in a way, but a topic we've been talking about. It just got so hot. Chief decided it was time to bring it on in. Yeah, time to bring it in. We have to discuss some of these things. I see we got one person came into the room while we were waiting on Phoenix. Get the word out. Chief is on air. We're gonna have a hot seafood ball tonight. Yeah, y'all coming on in, three in the room. Phoenix will be joining us in a few minutes, and we also have a special guest tonight. And we're gonna be dealing with some of the topics we have been talking about. We've been dealing with so much on this show, but tonight we bringing on a special guest. I'll be calling her as the room get full. We're going to give ourselves 30 minutes to get situated before we bring in a guest that is going to be cooking with Chief tonight. And we're going to be serving up hot and spicy tonight. There's a seafood ball, Louisiana hot seafood ball tonight. Get the word out to everybody. Let them know we got a seafood ball getting ready to get started. So while we are waiting on people to come on in, and we're waiting on Phoenix, let's start. When you have a good cookout, you got the seafood ball, you got the barbecue grills going, and I'm gonna have somebody coming in barbecuing tonight. I'm dealing with the seafood ball, but I'm gonna bring a person in and put them on the grill tonight, and they're gonna be barbecuing. Can y'all hear me clearly out there? If you can hear me, let Chief know. Okay, 45. I'm glad you caught us tonight. This is gonna be a good night. You caught a treat tonight. We're going to talk about a very sticky topic that nobody wants to talk about. Can y'all hear me? If you can hear me, send me some love. And we will be having Phoenix joining us. Thank you. All right. So far, everything is running smooth tonight. Got 19 in the room. Y'all know the thing. We don't start cooking up nothing until we hit 50. Hit the like buttons as you all come in. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Some people say they are having problems with getting notification. If that's the fact, what I was told is for you to go back out, unassign yourself as a subscriber, come back in, resubscribe, and also hit the notification bell for all notifications. Try that, and that might reset you in a way where you can start back getting your notification. Hi, Mount Bayou. Hey, everybody. We're gonna be getting there. We got 20 people in the room, so the water is not hot enough to start boiling. You know, you got we got to get the water boiling. We got the seasoning in it, and you know how it works. You let that stuff get to cooking and get that seasoning mixing together, and then you throw in them crawfish, and you throw in the corn and the potatoes, and I like the onions that be in there too. There's gonna be one of these kind of dishes. We ain't inside. It's too hot to be inside. We outside cooking. This gonna be outside dish here. When I mean outside cooking, we're gonna be dealing with a topic that some people just don't want to deal with. Okay? We're gonna be talking about some of the things we have been talking about in the past. We're gonna be talking about uh, 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 the Democrats, Democratic Party, and one of my special guests tonight will be a member of the St. Tammany Parish Democratic, should I say, DPEC. And she's going to be coming on tonight. And she got some things that maybe you need to check in your neighborhood. This is going to help you see what I've been talking about this racism. They haven't went anywhere. Okay? Because it goes undercover. Racism is like some kind of disorder under your skin. It surfaces every now and then and go to itching and hurting. That's what racism has been for us. The topic we're going to talk about tonight is going to touch on some things, and it's a good timing because we're not in a political time. So nobody can say, okay, it's a political issue. No, this is an issue that's affecting our communities across this country. We as people, I don't care if we want to call ourselves colored, black, Indian, Creole, Passe Blanc, whatever. If you got what they call that one drop and you are registered as a Democrat, you need to hear this topic tonight. Hit your people up and tell them, come on over. This is a topic that need to be heard. We sit back and we complain sometimes and we don't want to step up. It's time to step up. Hey, Sunflower. To step up, you have to go where sometimes nobody else want to walk or tread the water to bring the situation to the public. Tonight, we bringing something to the public. Actually, we breaking the news to you here. If someone in St. Tammany, I know y'all be watching in Mississippi, y'all need to pay attention to this. This can answer some of the questions people have been asking, why we are not moving forward, why we are not getting proper help. Tonight, if you notice in the description, it says we're going to be talking tonight about the Democrats, or I said the Dems, and we're going to be talking about DEI. Somebody put it in the box. Okay, we have Phoenix joining us on stage now. Phoenix, come in and give us a sound check, please.
Good evening, Chief. 1 2 1 2.
I can hear you clear. Can y'all hear Phoenix clear? All right, Dr. Fontaine, they're going to be a good one. I'm going to call our guests in about 8:30, so let's get the fire hot. 29 people in the room. While we are getting this fire hot, me and Phoenix can be talking about some of these things. Phoenix, I was telling them, this show is no different. Y'all know I'm going off camera, and y'all know why I'm going off camera. I ain't got to tell y'all. Because this topic makes me mad. Phoenix, it makes me mad. We are sitting here, Phoenix, trying to talk. Hey, Jamar, trying to talk about stuff around this country, and everybody's scared to talk. And certain words we can't say. We was caught in, and we need to see why we was around here couldn't say certain words, and what's happened. What did happen to some people that tried to stand up against that. And our guest tonight is going to let us know some of the hardship she have gotten through the Democrat DPEC here in Louisiana in St. Tammany Parish. Do y'all want to hear that topic tonight? If y'all want to go down that road, let me know. 34 people in the room. I hope we have 34 likes. I was also telling Phoenix tonight, this lady is going to bring some information that may be in you all community. Maybe some of the reason some things just not moving forward for you. And what I try to do here is share some of what we deal with so that you can actually be able to look in your area. Okay? Because you might have the same problem holding you up. Phoenix, we talked about the Democrats. We talked about how we felt it never changed. And how they do underhand things to us. Well, our guests and I are going to talk about that tonight. But things while we are on those topics, can you remember when I said I left the Democratic Party because of some of the things that was going on? And it was like people didn't want to hear you because it wasn't politically correct. Because at that time we had a black president, they said. Hey, Huntsville, Alabama. Um, wasn't nobody want to touch the topic because they would lose their channel. We talked about some of this stuff here, but we're gonna go a little deeper tonight. Um, Phoenix, you remember I told you that there was some issues, and Mike came on what a couple weeks back, and Mike was talking about what he went through as a person that worked in the with the DPAC and the Democratic Party. Okay.
Yes.
Um, I think this conversation, if y'all notice, I shared our chat on screen. Okay. I did that because I want you to be very much involved. And I notice a lot of people on their television don't get to see the chats. Okay, Phoenix? So tonight I decided to do it this way because a lot of people don't do the YouTube, but they'll do Facebook, and we're going to share it over there. And I'm going to be honest with you all. That chat room be popping so that people need to see the remarks as they go by. Am I right about that, Phoenix? Because to
Yes.
hear my side, they don't get to hear and see you all. Phoenix, I'm going to shut up and let you. We still got a few minutes before I get the guests on. I would like for you to address all people. You got a lot of love over here and a lot of you people over here.
Yes, I want to say hello. Halato, Kamawagapo, everybody. How are you, Chief? Good to see you.
I'm doing fine, Phoenix. We finna get ready to do this ball, though. We've been talking about doing this seafood ball.
Yes, indeed. Let me go get my bib.
Well, you get that, and I'm fixing to get our guests on. I'm supposed to bring on about 8:30. I'm a little early. 5049. So I'm gonna give it till at 8:30 timing. Um, hold on. Okay, we got Mike getting our guests on for us. He reaching out while I'm talking to you all. Dr. Montaigne, didn't you have a vacation? Did you enjoy your trip? I see Ishmael tell me he's enjoying his trip. We need some vacations with all what's going on in this country. All right, y'all, we have 47 people in the room. We'll be getting ready real soon. Getting ready to click at that 47, and we'll start talking on that topic. get a little deeper in it while we waiting for the guests. We can get the fire hot. 50 people just about in the room, 47 people in the room. Let them know Chief on. We're going to be talking about the Democrat. Uh-huh. We're going to be talking about DEI. Mm-hmm. I see two people left the room. I hope they left it accidentally or they left to go get some more people because we're going to fill this room tonight. Come on in. If you're watching by television, because we get a whole lot of people watching by television. If you're watching us by television, please hit your like button. We appreciate that. That's an easy way to leave a tip. It ain't about a tip of money, it's about a tip of you are in support of what we are trying to do here. All right. Phoenix, are you back?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay, let me get the party started. We had did the show. We got one more person, so we so close to 50, y'all. We just want to start throwing some stuff in the pot. The water is hot. Start throwing some seasoning and stuff in there. Sometimes down here we even throw a few neck bones in. We Most people from Southeast United States of color, if they lineage link back, we're the people who've been the power of the Democratic Party. We've been the strength. Ever since Fannie Lou Hamer became sick and tired of being sick and tired, we've been over there with them Democrats. And look like the Democrats just don't appreciate the dedication, Phoenix, that we have given to them. It's like um, it's like we begging for attention. And I got sick and tired of begging them like Fannie Lou Hamer got sick and tired of begging the Republican Party. So why I'm saying this, I want people to understand, Chief ain't on here trying to do no Republican show. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not no Republican. Hey, finding out others. You eating crab and neck bone, y'all. Finding out feathers that started the party. She's up on it. She say she on crabs and um, neck bones. Phoenix, that's what she ate. Um, we've been dedicated, just like we were dedicated to the Republican Party at one time. But our dedication sometimes get misused, to be misunderstood, and it hurts. And no matter how much it looked like we reach out to those in leadership to tell them that something is just not working right with us, it looked like they don't pay us any attention. They pay attention to everybody else's issues. We talked about the whole thing of civil rights. We done covered a lot of those things. Spiver told you all. We haven't received what they were fighting for. These were the foot soldiers. These were people who didn't sell nobody out. And I know civil rights leaders get the bad deal. But it's not the civil rights leaders' fault if other people take advantage. You understand, Phoenix? And when I say take advantage, they go up and leave everybody else down. So that was one frustration I heard from the people. Next one. People were frustrated. People were frustrated. 1 second, please. All right. What people fail to realize, the same thing happened back then is happening now. Some people go fill their bucket and cup and don't care about the next person. But it's time we make a change. Change don't mean go be because you're sick and tired of one thing, go to another party. I told y'all what I did. I went independent. Nobody didn't want to listen. And everybody that's a Republican is not bad, and everybody that's a Democrat is not bad, and everybody that's in the independent is not perfect. But when we're looking at the issues beyond the color of a person's skin, we get agendas passed down to us, not us passing an agenda up on what we need in our communities, in the local areas. We have a black caucus that didn't have not one committee. Can somebody put in there, not one committee did they have fighting for reparation for the black community? Not one committee working on what happened to the black, indigenous, aboriginal, whatever it takes to say the first. Do y'all understand? You voted for Cornel West, you still voted a good vote. You know, you don't, let me tell you, throw your vote away. You voted against what you did not want. Not who you didn't want, what agendas you don't want. And we got to stop voting because people's skin color look like ours. We have allowed them to take 70 years of our life playing politics on color and classism. When a lot of these people, when they went in, well, they're making $100 and some $1,000 a year, like I tell y'all sometimes, but now they are multi-millionaires. Can somebody tell me how that happened? Neither party is an advocate for us. I agree. We get advantages in the middle of somebody else's battle or somebody gain, crumbs fall from the table. But lately, crumbs don't want to fall. And you know, they can get all the slang language. They can start talking street and cursing to think that's going to reach the people. But it's not. Because most people that I'm talking to, they tell me they think that's the game. I told the local DPEC people that I, for one, is tired of the game. So I stepped out the game. I got where I want to be. I don't want nobody to think they own me. I don't want to be a statistic that neither party can count on without being or doing deliverables. It's time for us to see some deliverables. Can somebody write that in there? You know, any contract have a deliverable point to it. Have any of y'all seen your deliverables for your grandparents' vote, your parents' votes, and your vote? Have you seen a deliverable? If you've seen a deliverable, put it in the box. I'm not here talking for an election because the election is over. And sometimes the election clouds the situation and people can't hear the facts. I'm not going to give Trump all no credit, like I'm not going to give the devil all no credit every time things happen. We got individual people causing us problems. And it ain't Trump and it's not the devil. But it is the greedy getting over on the needy. And it's time we deal with that. And the scare tactics. How many of y'all tired of the scare tactics? Let's talk. That's why, I ain't never put our chat just on the screen like this. We can make sure it's seen. It's there for a reason. I want you to be heard. Do y'all understand what Chief's saying? Do it make sense to you? Right now, the Democrat Party, and I'm sticking there because that's where I put my money, my time, and my youth. I gave them the best of my years. Thinking and hoping that a change would come. And then we come with a black president which broke the history barrier. I didn't check to see what kind of black he was. And a lot of us was guilty. If you're guilty, say guilty. If we voted for him in the emotional point of the upset and the joy of seeing someone look like us, and we made that vote. And then we made it a second time, some of us. That's right, Jones. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. I like what y'all saying. Yep. I'm guilty. I'm not a leader gonna pretend I didn't pull the lever. Well, not pull the lever. I pushed a button, and then I pushed another button that says my vote was cast. With the pride of yes, we can. And I felt I had worked a lot of years in the Democrat Party to be able to say yes, we can. Yes, we can became no, not right now. Time is not right. And it looked like whatever our agenda is never the main agenda. Not for the Black caucus. Now, we didn't have blacks in every position in this country, and we still haven't had one that'd be brave enough to speak up for us. I'm hearing more about a black agenda now that Trump is in office than I've heard in all these years coming from the governmental blacks. Do y'all agree or disagree? If I'm wrong, let me know. Yes, we've been used. That's what I feel. Yep. Y'all remember Tom Ackland told us it's all about the green. Brad, you disagree? Go into it. I want to hear why. Everybody got a chance to be heard. If we agree or disagree, still we need to be heard. Come back and tell me the disagree point because it's very important. It's just as important as the I agree, Chief. Yes, it is. Because you are an individual who carries an individual vote and have an individual feeling and an individual need. But the issue is where do you address it and who address it for you? We have had more taxation without representation. We have had more work with no pay. Slaves wasn't getting paid. And don't y'all think the Indians got paid? I didn't say the natives who they put in, y'all, whoever haven't did the show and you knew. Go back and look at several shows from last year and earlier this year when we talked about Woodrow Wilson and them and what they did and the birth of a nation. If they would have did right by the Indians of color would have been treated right in Oklahoma. Good evening. We have let them put everybody from every other country from over the seas before they have put together some kind of committee or whatever for real. I ain't talking about another study. I'm tired of studies. I heard the people fighting for reparations say they tired of a study of a reparation when they don't give nobody else a study. Why everything come down to the Indians of color and the people who work for free? Study have to be done. What is the study going to say different from the other studies?
Did they have a study for the Holocaust, Chief? Did they do a study?
I have not found it. I looked for one, but I have not seen a study. But we get studies and we get fancy speeches like, yes, we can. I'm a civil right, human right leader. I've never signed up, Phoenix, for a DEI leader. The average person in their 60s and 70s that's not into this swing change letter type thing, they don't even know what a DEI is. But they threw us a DEI that does not really include us. It included everybody but us. And why I'm doing this show, I'm hearing so many people constantly saying the DEI hurt us. If anybody on here have benefited from DEI, please tell me. Or anyone that you know have benefited from DEI.
I don't know. I've been affected by DEI, not helped. I haven't been able to advance at all.
All right, let me give you a DEI example, Phoenix. Before Katrina, black men were subcontractors. This person was one of them because the white men had the contract, and that was under affirmative action. But he didn't get the contract through themselves; they got it through their wives. That's affirmative action. The white women was the contract holder. They may never went on the job. Their husband used the wives, or their daughter, or their sister. Good evening, Davida. They use their minority of their family to get minority contracts. After Katrina, they brought in the same immigrants they shipping out now, and they took the subcontract work that the people that was of color were getting, and the only thing that they were letting them get. Now we got DEI, and they say DEI is supposed to be helping us or hurting us, and DEI have not done anything in the communities where I'm at. All I've seen DEI have done is open the door for them to talk about the other agendas across the water and the people they bring here. DEI open the door to talk about alphabet and number soup. But I'm waiting on my guest because we're going to talk about what was the impact of the supporting of DEI. What did it do to grassroots communities? And what did it do to St. Tammany DPAC? Okay. Hold 1 second. Let me see what they're saying on this call. All right, y'all. That's Mike. He's familiar with the topic because he was a person that attended the DPEC meetings all the time. And my best way to describe what I saw here in St. Tammany Parish was the DEI agenda was not about people of color because they were being attacked. And Mike, you here, if I'm wrong, correct me. You went to many meetings. I quit going to their meetings, but I ended up going for a simple reason. 2022, Mike and a friend of mine, he's passed now, passed after he came back from the Democratic Party, heartbroken and never recovered.
That's true.
Is that the truth, Mike?
That's true.
I know for a fact from 2022 till his death, he was trying to get people to understand the racism within the Democratic Party. I know people talking about the racism in the Republican Party, but you going to tell me there's no racism in the Democrat Party? There's no one suffering in the Democrat Party from racism? And they want us to believe that they don't have racism in all three units, Republican, Democrat, and Independent. But we got black leaders trying to sell us a wolf ticket, that the only place you're going to find racism and white supremacy is coming from the Republican Party. Well, I'm not speaking as a Republican because I'm not one, but I'm a citizen of the United States. I'm a citizen of this state of Louisiana and the parish of St. Tammany, as well as a member of my tribe. I don't see nothing that the Democrats have done here. Why am I hearing? I was in the community the other day. I don't know if they classify themselves black or Creole because people they different things. You know that, Mike, around here on different occasions. Because I said I didn't see anything that the Biden did no better than what Trump not doing, no better than what Obama didn't do. Then I was asked, did you sell us out? Sell y'all? How can I sell y'all when you ain't never contribute to me? But you stay home, drink your beer under the tree. There ain't nothing wrong with that to an extent. But when I don't see you going to meetings and standing up for what you need, then you're not standing up for your own senior citizen pay. You're not standing up for your own children for education. Everything people of color get involved with, the price go up. Have y'all ever noticed it? Education used to be free before black people started getting education from the institution because they didn't understand we was getting education from our people. Our guest is about to come on. 1 second. Mike, I'm gonna tap her back and bring us on together.
Okay.
I want y'all to understand. I'm not trying to be some big civil rights leader. I'm just trying to be a good leader, like I tell y'all. Good evening. Miss Marie Wade is online, and we have with us Mike with us. So, Marie, Mike is online with us.
Okay, great.
I've been trying to put some neck bones in this here Louisiana seafood bar for us.
Oh.
And, a lot of people don't understand how we have to operate down here in the deep South. And
right.
I want to throw a few more onions and stuff in the pot before I bring you in to dump the crawfish in. Okay?
Okay.
The thing what I'm trying to get people to understand is if we don't start speaking up and speaking out, or if we just stay behind closed doors and mumble with each other, we're allowing both parties to make a fool out of us.
Very true.
I get in trouble from being an outspoken person and I'm not politically correct, and I'm not planning on starting to be politically correct. I'm telling y'all, we as people in this country are in trouble right now. And it's not because of just a Donald J. Trump. It's not because of just the devil, the Democrat Party. We studied the history on here. If y'all saw the show and y'all was having inputs on that, please let our audience know, because y'all know people come back with their daggone Tupperware to get a dinner. Let's leave a dinner for them to see. Maybe if we leave them some knowledge, it'll plant a seed that God himself would have to water for some folks, believe me, to hear the truth. Phoenix, when people tell the truth, they're going to go to lying on you. When people stand up with what's wrong, they go to lying on you. But what we have to stop doing as people of color, when we hear these lies, we don't go check for receipts. We don't ask. I'm one of these people, I don't care if it's black or white, Democrat or Republican around here. And Mike, you know this. If something hit the street and I think I need to know about it, I'm going to make phone calls or go dialing somewhere or going by somebody. Am I right? Too much. I hear the Democrat Party talking about misinformation, disinformation, and to confuse the voters till the voters don't want to vote. Now, I had promised our guest that 8:30 she could come on. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. She and I are gonna talk about some things that we want you all to take notes. and check your community. Because if it's happening in St. Tammany, it's most probably happening as a set agenda from what we see in many other states. We have a lady that did not have to come on here. Because me and her could just keep talking like we've been doing since I've met her. And I met her through Patrick, who had already been asking me to keep an eye on the situation since 2022. And I was coming back, not trying to build no party a shine, but trying to educate the public that in my best way, go back and learn about the Democrat Party that was organized and ran by the Confederates. It was supposed to have been a new party after we came in. They were supposed to make changes that they didn't make. Both parties then did us wrong. So I'm not here saying, oh, go join the Republican Party. Chief is not telling you to do that. Don't you do that. And if you're not leaving the Democrat Party, you need to be involved in going to meetings. Because by not going to meetings, a handful of people is running these parties. And the top ain't telling nobody nothing. You know, really, Marie, I don't think the top know everything. Because they don't come down to the bottom.
That's correct.
But let me let you introduce yourself so they know you know what you're talking about. Here we come. Can y'all hear her well? If y'all can hear, let me know. Throw me something in the signal. Say hello to our special guest for tonight that might can help bring some clarity to some stuff.
Good evening, everyone. I am Marie Wade. I am the District 9 representative for the St. Tammany DPEC. That's the Democratic Party Executive Committee. We are responsible for policy making and making sure that quality candidates are identified for the parish of St. Tammany. Hold on one second.
Can y'all hear clearly?
Sorry, y'all. I was at a graduation and it just got over with. It was running a little late.
No problem, baby.
Back to politically, that's where I am. I also ran for school board in 2018, so I cut my teeth on a campaign or two, so I understand how that works. Professionally, I am an accountant. I am also a realtor, so I know my way around a calculator. Locally in St. Tammany Parish, I can't describe it any other way except to say that there's a cancer that has infected all of us. And with any cancer, you don't see it right away. You kind of know it's there, but you don't pay any attention until it really starts hurting. Well, right now, it's hurting. We need everyone who considers himself a Democrat or aligns with the Democrat ideals to speak up, to come to our meetings, to let this opposition, for lack of a better word, know that they do not have the majority. When there's no one there in the audience to say anything, they get to do things that they should not be doing. Since 2019, I served as the treasurer for the Democratic Party here in St. Tammany Parish. Did it successfully. I may have been late a time or two on a couple of reports, but it was nothing major. But I did it successfully. Within the past year, we've had a faction that came in that decided they wanted to take over, which included me no longer being treasurer. The reason for that was so that they could control or try to control the little bit of resources that we do have. Well, this particular person has not done the job correctly and proceeded to blame me for it, to the point where my name was publicly slandered. I was accused of stealing money and so forth. And in the beginning, I know I said what I did for a living. So if I were to steal money, this is very detrimental to my way of life. It seems to be a concerted attack against those of color. And another reason I say that is that our chair, who happens to be a gentleman of color, is also being attacked. Hopefully he'll come on and speak to his own experiences with that, but it's a very disrespectful situation. Plain and simple, the party is in trouble. We need the assistance of the public. We need the assistance of those that are really on the side of doing what's supposed to happen, taking care of the people of St. Tammany Parish. Your local DPEC has not been able to do that because we have been infighting.
You have a question. Okay, you have a question.
Yes.
They want to know who gave these people or persons the authority to take over the committee and who invited them.
They were elected. Or I should say, they assumed their positions unopposed. And that was also a very concerted effort because they made sure no one else was running against them.
It was a part of the inclusion, guys. That's the inclusion. I'm gonna get back to you. Let me break this down a little bit. Some things I'm gonna say it. Okay. She had to do this because once the bill was signed through President Obama, these people became protected under special protection. Under that ABC 123 protection, they board was being taken over and they couldn't do anything. Okay. I monitored from 2022 up to this present. What was happening was there were some attorneys that I knew that I don't respect out of the white community. There were people canvassing for people of the same agenda. Or as the chairman say, their community. Okay? And like she said, we're gonna bring the chair on, and we're gonna, I'm proud that we have someone sitting on these committees that's willing to stand up and do the right thing. Y'all understand? And tell you what they are up against. This is what should have been going on because it was making me look like I was a troublemaker. But she know I was in contact with part of their committee. I've been said we needed to walk forward even before the election. But that law, the same one that have people saying grapes, instead of being able to say rape, because then you lose your channel, you don't get paid, or somebody gonna sue you. She explained to you her professional career. Patrick Miller also had a professional career in real estate. They put you in a bind that you look like they can easily make you look like what you're not. So in other words, they throw you into a gag order. Because if you say something, they the top minority. I told y'all it took a half of black man to take a whole white man and make him a woman. All that's protected. It was protected. I told Marie last night, I said, Marie, they don't want us to see, Trump ain't doing a lot of stuff I don't like. But one thing he did, he set them free. Because if he wouldn't have changed that law, she could not come on here and talk to you all about it. Did y'all know that? So by Trump making that, as I seen Marie on the thing, Trump might have didn't do it for us as people of color, but he did it for somebody. So we're gonna take that lemon and make a lemonade. And what I mean is he put the law there to protect this lady where she don't have to feel like she can lose her job because they're gonna try to discredit her. She's stealing. She's against the alphabet community. Because prior to this new executive order, all her and Patrick could do is try to educate people the best way they could without being sued. Did I say that pretty good, Marie?
Yes, you did.
Their reputations
Especially
was out
when it was physically told to Patrick that they had more protections than Patrick did as a black man.
Now this was if y'all go back to the video, Phoenix, if you're there, do you remember when I showed the video of the people that was running against Scalise and all of them? And we all laughed about it. Let me see. I think Phoenix has got to come back on. Let me see. Add her back to the stage. Phoenix, are you there?
I'm here. Yes, I am.
Do you
I do.
remember the group? Because Marie, I was keeping my audience up, some of them with what was going on. Some people say yes, they do. Okay, I see Phoenix has to do. Okay, these are the people she was up against, and these people was radical. Let me get her to give you some examples. Let's walk down what she was up against. All right, let me start with Mike. One
Sure.
way they try to gag you to the point that they could use the law that was put in place protecting them, but not protecting people of color. That's what I'm saying. How did DEI protect black folks when black folks were stuck under gag orders under the Democratic Party? They say they're sorry you went through that, Marie. That was Davita Carter said that.
I appreciate that.
Why I brought her on here? Y'all remember when they were lying on Chief and telling me they had stole my tribe and everything? Well, Phoenix came to my rescue. And Phoenix, I'm always going to do the same thing Reverend Alexander did for me. You did it. The lady needed a place to tell it what's going on. Yeah, Davita, dirty politicians. Now, the chairman is a council. Okay, all y'all know Gunny, Jimmy. The ones y'all know, nothing came down, y'all done saw it. Well, he's on the parish government. But the chairman is a council on the town of, or the city of Covington. He's a councilman. So as a councilman, he couldn't say too much either because there was a law gagging them. Mike, you were told personally that this is the way to try to shut you up. Mike, go to asking questions. What was you accused of being, Mike?
Homophobic. Marie was there.
Yep.
And heard him call me that. I was praising them for that Democrat banquet they had. But I had to address some issues that I thought that was wrong. And when I mentioned that certain issue, they got mad and stunned, and they said, and one of them said that he's a homophobic, he's a nobody, things like that. Now, I was insulted by that because I worked in the Democrat Party for years, and y'all know that, Marie.
Yep.
I went out there, I campaigned hard, sometimes by myself, on signs of different candidates, things like that. And for them to sit there and accuse me of trying to discriminate against them, when they the ones doing discrimination, I thought it was a fall.
Now, what he's talking about, Marie and them raised money. I want y'all to understand the Democrat Party wasn't sending no money from Washington. They might have raised $1 billion, but they wasn't sending money to Louisiana to send money to St. Tammany. So our local people do what we always do. Reach in your pocket, raise your money, and try to make it stretch and get the job done. This is what this lady have done. And Patrick, before he passed, he was worried about how they were coming after them and how they was trying to ruin their reputation because they knew that all the blacks on that board were career people. Patrick was in the hospital, you all, fighting for his life the night that Marie and them gave this, should I say banquet or gala?
Yeah, it's a gala.
And what happened was, Jeremy, y'all know the one that is the man when he want to be and the woman when he want to be, and vice versa for male. Well, they came to the banquet not wanting to buy a ticket. But the black folks who gave it bought tickets to go. Y'all know how we do stuff. We'll put it on and buy the ticket. But they felt that they didn't have to buy tickets. So he became loud and rowdy from what I heard. And I had gotten it from Patrick because he was in the hospital and he says, Chief, you said this thing going to end up when we're going to be fighting in the building. And he said, I don't want it to go there, but if I was there that night, he said, most probably I've been going to jail, but I've been the one calling the police. I got this from Patrick. Then I find out, not only that, Patrick calls me back and say, then they want to know where was the money going to go that Marie and them had raised. So Marie and them haven't given them money. I told Patrick I wouldn't give them nothing. So now we hear Marie stole money. I've talked to Marie. She said the money in the bank. Y'all listening at me? She haven't stole no money, but she didn't give it to them. And that was what their purpose were.
That was why they didn't want me to be treasurer anymore.
Let me see what somebody's saying here. Maybe, Mike, they want to know is homophobic, is that the new N word for that Pacific group?
I guess.
They told Patrick that he was homophobic, and they had put Patrick a little nervous. Patrick wasn't that kind of person. He wasn't a troublemaker. Patrick would call me all through the night trying to figure out how to work this out without hurting anyone's feeling. And I say, you know, Patrick, sometimes not only do you hurt other people's feelings, but your feelings are going to get hurt to get down to the nitty gritty. Marie just told you, hopefully next week, we're going to do a live and have her in the chair here. Would y'all like to see both of them with a sit-down question answer to you?
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I would love to do it. I've been looking for the avenue to really do it. I honestly felt like I was by myself. And, you know, of course, you know, Patrick was there, but he was limited with his health issues. So I felt like I was by myself. I would be the only one who would say something against the foolishness that they would bring forth. And of course, I was not going to give up, but there were quite a few times it was like, you know, I would question myself, like, what am I doing this for? But I never let them even know that I was even thinking that. But here we are today, and the current treasurer, by her not doing what she was supposed to do, what most narcissists will do is they will blame someone else and they'll never take accountability. And they published this all over Facebook. They created handouts and gave it out at the quote unquote town hall that they gave, and even had one of their friends publish it in this online news blog saying that I stole money and used it to open another account without anybody's permission. What crossed the line was when they did this publicly. You can talk about me all you want in our little group chats and our emails. I don't really care. But then they go and they do this publicly, knowing that I've been in the financial industry for more than 30 years. Any type of financial impropriety could cost me my career. So it's a very defamatory and slanderous. The current treasurer eventually came back, I want to say it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, to say that she wants to be clear that no money was stolen and nothing is missing, and she doesn't understand where that came from. We know where that came from her. But the fact that you only wait till 2 weeks ago to say that it wasn't true, the damage has already been done. This is what I'm up against. Whenever you refute anything that they say, and even at the meeting, and I do have everything recorded, I was still called a liar, even though I presented facts and timelines of when she got all the access that she needed. Because another one of her complaints was that she didn't have all the access she needed to be successful at her job as a treasurer, and that was not true. What's also concerning is the fact that this person happens to be a CPA and should know better. This is what I'm up against. But she's part of that clique, for lack of a better word, that were out for control. None of them had held a public office before. None of them had been in politics before. So none of them know what they are doing. I am currently, since Patrick passed, the longest serving member of the St. Tammany DPEC. So yes, there is a wealth of knowledge there. But why would you listen to me? Because then that would mean that they were wrong, and that's something that they'll never admit. This is what I'm up against.
Marie, I'm sorry you have went through that. It's very clear that there have been targeted efforts to discredit your work and, smear you in your position as treasurer. How could the people of St. Tammany Parish and me in New York and the rest of the people in the chat nationally, how would we be able to?
Okay, she said she barely can hear you. Wait, let me see something here now. All right, let's try that again, Phoenix.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you better now.
Okay. I was saying that, it is clear that you've been targeted. There are targeted efforts to discredit your work and remove you from your position. How can the people of St. Tammany Parish, myself in New York, and the others nationally, how would we be able to support you in overcoming this smear campaign? And that's for those that believe in truth and accountability. How would we be able to support you? What would you need from the community, practically and spiritually, to help you feel more secure in your leadership role and know that you're not alone?
The best way to do that is to come to the meetings and make them show the proof that they are accusing me of. I have all the proof in the world. I have every text message, every email, everything ever sent. I even gave my timeline at the last meeting. They have not produced anything. If they hear from the public, well, the public that supports me, instead of their public, because they'll purposely bring people to the meeting that support them. There were 10 different members of the DPEC that signed this memorandum saying that I stole money. So trust and believe that I've been looking for a defamation lawyer. Because each one of those that signed it need to have some type of legal ramifications for attempting to destroy someone's career. And that's the way I am taking it. I am taking it very personal. But I would need the public to show up and ask them to show proof. You have every right to ask for that. since they claim to serve the constituents and serve the citizens of St. Tammany Parish, I don't know any citizens of St. Tammany Parish with the same mind that would just arbitrarily believe something like that without asking for proof. Like I said, when I produced that proof, I was called a liar. And that's where things got out of hand at the meeting.
This is what our people, when they try to do good, those that's of color that's just there for self gain, no, they don't have problems in this country. But when you stand for what's good and you try to be a good leader, you become a target. And when you rock somebody's boat that they don't want rocked, you become even a larger target. One thing we can do is the Democrat Party is a national organization. And also to the audience across Louisiana, we also can write letters to the state board asking them to make these people produce receipts to them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm going to shut up. Marie, do you want to read the response? But I want to go farther before you get to that. Because finally, the state board have made some actions today, Phoenix. But we don't know how much. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm looking for it to happen. So is Marie. When the pressure go toward the state board. Y'all with where I'm saying? Because
summarize the email. Basically, because of all this turmoil and the fact that the chair had to call the police at the last meeting because they would not adhere to meeting rules and they kept standing up and doing outbursts and interrupting. The chair asked the sergeant at arms to escort them out. When the chair adjourned the meeting because of all the interruptions, things got worse.
let me answer this person. 19 years and no public following from your community. Let me explain something to y'all. This is what a lot of y'all ask questions about why my grandparents didn't say something. Why nobody did anything. You understand, Phoenix? This is a good question, what you are asking. Why no community following? They want to know if 19 years. Well, do y'all know the average black community do not go to meetings across this country?
Right.
Do y'all know most of the blacks vote without really knowing what's going on in these rooms? Maybe the Democrat people think everything is a-okay, is why she's not getting any back. And see, that's why she stepped out.
Right.
I said earlier, she couldn't step out before because there was a law in the United States that she could have been prosecuted for saying anything. And she said that the gentleman, and Mike said it too, they make it understood. In other words, they more minority than a black woman or a black man, which that was told to Patrick. So is DEI working for all minorities or DEI was working for a group?
Right.
Anyone in your state, you have a Democrat Party, or Independent, or Republican Party. Question need to be asked. The reason she's on here tonight, and I told her this, she couldn't even say this in 2022, 2023, 2024. If it was not for the executive order that removed that and made it, as they say, fraudulent and illegal and cannot be held by what you're saying, have set this lady free to speak. Are y'all understanding? This lady is speaking up where we got black leaders across the country have not came out and spoke up and say, this is what we were under.
Right.
How many of them y'all know? How many in anybody community step forward to try to reach their people and say, you are not following the Democrat Party. You are following a hidden agenda of a hijack. We knew it was hijacked before the election. Am I right, Marie?
That is correct. This person went online and posted that was his whole agenda, to take over. Something that a lot of people don't understand. There are currently only 5 members of color on this current DPEC. There are 19 slots. There were 6, but Patrick passed. 3 of us have PhDs. They are intimidated by that, and I know they are. It's a concerted effort to make us look bad.
Which means if they hold down the black leaders that's sitting on these boards and committees, then they are actually holding down the other blacks across America.
Yes.
We know they operate as groups. We know they move their numbers. That's what she was telling you. They brought their people to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This here's the first time, you all I know is first time for me, having someone on one of these committees step forward and try to tell the public what's going on. What you feel about what she's doing, Phoenix? Phoenix? I think I lost her.
But I have been constantly, contacting the state, letting them know what's going on. My last email to them finally got a response. And I don't know if it's an unfortunate thing, but I'm going to say unfortunate for the sake of it sounding good. But in my mind, it's not unfortunate. The state actually suspended the St. Tammany DPEC today.
Did you hear that, y'all? So she's fighting back. I'm gonna let her say that one again. Did y'all hear what she said? This thing is so serious where police doesn't have to been called in. Till they suspended, the state suspended DPEC today.
Yep.
Maybe in your cities, towns, parishes, you need to go to these meetings and see if your people are being held under gag orders that cannot tell you anything, because this movement, they move from city to city and set up house. I went to witness the election because Patrick wanted me to see the election, and they had people there from the state Democrat committee. And what happened was, I watched them pull a coup d'etat in front of all our eyes. I watched them put their people in position, then turned around and had an election and voted the black people out. I witnessed that last year. Phoenix, these are some topics we talk about all the time, me and you, Mr. Waldo. Crooked politicians, black, white, Democrat, Republican, or independent. Tell me what you feel about what Marie is sharing with us tonight.
I think this is great content. I got uh, booted off the app. I had to come back in. I believe she said I heard the state, and that was where I didn't hear anything else after that.
Okay, she was okay. She didn't hear the DPEC argument that led to where y'all are at now. Let me see. Can I get a little closer on that one?
You mean with calling the police?
I think
That and what did it lead to with the state where you
the
all are
state,
at now?
yeah.
It led to the state contacting every member of the DPEC today to let us know that we have all been suspended until further notice.
And for me, I say it's good. Okay,
Yes.
Phoenix? Because that means now the state sees something is going on in St. Tammany. Y'all
I've been
understand?
begging and begging for help for the past 2 years with this. Begging.
Now, how many areas these people have played this game? I know we're not the ones out there pushing DEI, so who is behind it? Oh, she fixing to organize the community.
I'm so ready.
That is one reason Chief Warhorse is involved. Not as Chief Warhorse, I'm involved as a civil rights leader and a human rights leader. Y'all know I can switch my hats. I switched it because this is an issue that's affecting us across this country. Why we are not seeing no progress and have not seen progress, because groups of people takes over towns and move their people from state to state, join committees. These people came in from what Patrick told me, dressed like, one was dressed like a man, one was dressed like a woman, until they got into the position, and then they unveiled and showed their real self. Wolves in sheep clothing. They didn't walk in wolves. They put that on afterwards. Are y'all with me? Can somebody put in the chat room, wolves in sheep clothing?
Yes.
And then they became arrogant and demanding. Kind of remind me of some people, Phoenix, that I ran across. You don't take people in arrogant. You don't take people in because they're a wolf. You took them in because they was a sheep. And then you found out it wasn't a sheep. It was a wolf. How many of us are guilty of that? Pick the wrong friend, sit in the wrong company, allow the wrong people to eat at the table with us. Give our money to people who don't appreciate it. If you want me to spell that, it spells Democrat with me, because I did that. And I would talk to the blacks that was on the committee to tell them I saw what was happening. I saw these people going to other meetings causing ruckus. They were some of the same people you would see at a library meeting causing ruckus. Mike, what you say? We go to meetings, huh, Mike? We see them, don't we?
Same people. They can't get things done because the whole library situation keep them stalled. Good one.
But if they can keep you in an uproar on racism from one side and you're not looking at it on all sides, you know, we have a left eye and a right eye. One give us close vision, one give us far vision. Am I correct about that?
True.
We need to be looking at out of both eyes at what's out there. Evaluate our gain. Evaluate our loss.
Tammany is the hub of the corruption,
yes,
in the Democratic Party in the state. The reason I say that is because quite a few members of the state executive party come from St. Tammany Parish. There was also an attempted coup at the state level where they attempted to overthrow the chair. Same people.
Y'all understand?
Yes.
You don't see a coup d'etat coming. You think the Indians saw a coup d'etat coming and played into it? No, it's deceitful. And I just want y'all to stop and think. This is the same thing going on in Washington. I asked a question, Marie, and I've been asking this question. How can a person get elected making $100 and some thousand in the Congress? I don't care if they're black, white, Democrat, Republican, or independent. And then when we go look at their net worth, they are all millionaires and stuff. Multi-millionaires. How?
Being in Congress affords you a few privileges that your average person doesn't have. One of them is and I'm pretty sure someone will correct me on this, but from being in the industry, this is my assessment of it. You say you're in Congress, they're not going to check your credit. So when you go to purchase certain things, especially real estate, and real estate is the greatest builder of wealth, you go purchase a piece of property that may be worth $1-2 million. That increases your wealth right there.
Did y'all hear what she said?
The privileges that are given to them is what helps them increase their wealth. Some of it is insider trading information, but in general, because like if you don't have to pay for your health care, you've got money in your pocket.
They don't pay for their children's education either, right?
Correct. If you don't have to pay for your housing, that's money in your pocket. So if
And that's in addition to a salary, right?
In addition to the 6-figure salary, all of that adds to that very quick rise in wealth.
Not counting
all kinds of things to make sure that they are in Congress.
Okay, what you say, Phoenix?
So the state suspension definitely signals the serious dysfunction and corruption that has taken root. But I think that this will be helpful for Marie's concerns about the mismanagement and, of course, the unjust treatment, showing that the issue wasn't just about her. It was complete corruption.
Yes. And that's why we're going to bring the chair on. This is about a DEI takeover.
Right.
Yes.
That had the right and the protection of law to use pressure to do what they have to do, knowing you wasn't going to get any backup. Now, how many times is this strategy being repeated? Everything they do, they repeat it.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Yes.
What I'm liking is, Phoenix, we do not have to depend on somebody's show to tell our people what's going on. We don't mind doing it over here. But believe me, if it's happening in one place, it's duplicated from somewhere else. Y'all remember Tom Aitken said it's all about the money or the green. So this is what the lady telling you. It's not that they making the money, they're in a position like a money magnet. Is that a good way to put that, Marie?
Yeah, very good way to put that.
So some people not going into politics to help the community, is what she's saying, I think. They are going there because it puts you in a position to draw things your way, legally or illegally.
That's correct.
And we at the bottom need to start talking about this across the country. We need to see how many areas that we can't get nothing done. Is this the situation? Yeah, Davida, he the gift that just keep on giving. I saw him today at the leadership meeting. He looked at lonely.
He got 9 lives.
Huh?
So, well, he has 9 lives for sure.
That's right. And you can see the arrogance with Tom Aitken, so you know the arrogance of these type people. These are the type people he hang with. This is the type people that have controlled this country. And it's not about Democrat and Republican. It's about being corrupt or not corrupt. Yeah, they use the same DNC playbook. And then that hurts you when you find out you being used. Because you're not there to be used. You're there to help the community. But then the next thing you find out, you under gag order by somebody that can say, look, I'm more minority than you. If you say something, all laws is in my favor right now. So, thank you, Donald Trump, from freeing some people. Okay, now people can like I said it or not, but that's factual. Because he was brave enough, because evidently other people is suffering this same thing. And maybe this is what some of the people were saying. They were like, I'm not voting for Trump. I'm not a Republican, but I don't want no more of this. Well, this was one reason I didn't want one more, because I knew firsthand there was a coup d'etat going on, had been going on, and I was not voting for it. Why would I vote to empower the same people we have to fight? Why? So a lot of people are voting against themselves. I'm going to say this. I guess I could say the former treasurer online. I feel we've been had over these years. I feel we need to educate people on the bottom. I feel we should not use or waste our airtime, because we are about educating over here. Y'all know that. We about serving up history. Well, the history of this story is the same old, same old. Okay? Nothing's changed. Scare the black people with public housing. Scare the black people with food stamps while it's somebody else benefiting. Scare the black people with the job, somebody else benefiting. Phoenix, this the kind of stuff Mr. Waldo say they got to deal with in Oklahoma. There you go. They won't change. We have to. We have to be heard.
Exactly.
We are 70 some years and still going backwards, not forward. But we are the ones who've been used to advance everyone else wealth in America. And if you can't sit at the table and be respected to help your people and bring back from the table, then you just sitting at the table aging like all the civil rights leaders did. Aging at the table, and this generation is suffering. There are people I said that I know here in St. Tammany, those who became the Republicans were those who was the racist Democrats. I had to fight them on both sides. But there was some good people came along. And when I say good people, people who wasn't from here in that clique, the good old boy clique. Because at one time they didn't even have a good old girl. Liz, y'all know she was on the show when we first started out. She told you the women start running for seats because the good old boys ran everything. You had Winston Cavendish, a former police officer, McGruff. He told y'all he witnessed the corruption, and it cost him, it nearly cost him his life. I want to say this is the first time in my life in civil rights in this parish having a person that's holding those positions outside of myself that's willing to get out there and stand up and say something. Hey, Shreveport, you can write a letter. That's what you can do, Shreveport. You can write a letter to the DNC. We want to know, and we need receipts. All right, y'all, let's hit the chat room. I got some stuff. If y'all enjoying the show, send some love. Those who have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. Now, at the bottom of the screen, you see where you can go to Cash App. Y'all know I remember to do that every now and then. That's on the screen, so I don't have to go through all of that. You can see that. But what I do want you to see is this. I want you to give me some love if you like what this lady are doing and what this show have brought to. Ooh, wow, fire just jumped up from there. Before I could even say anything, Davida, you just lit the screen up. Let me see what y'all got to say about tonight's show. Y'all got to remember, this is going to be part one We're going to come back with the chair. You got some hearts over here. I'm going to send you the link to the show when we get through, Marie. You can sit down and read all of the chats for yourself. All right, y'all.
I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. This is not the last you have heard from me. This is just the beginning.
They say really good show. Got fire going. Thank you. I want y'all to understand something. It starts with one person. One person can make a change. All right, guys? One person. And she just stepped up to be that one person. And we want them to know we watching her. Don't play your games with us because we watching. That's another reason this channel is important, because we can give people a chance to be heard and reach their people. They're not going to put this in no newspaper. Y'all know that. They out there beating up Phoenix on the blog channels. Y'all know all that, how they get in the blogs and do people. I appreciate y'all taking your time to hear this. This is for all of us. Hey, Jeremiah in California. That's one of my chief aides. Look at that. The word getting out. California. Jeremiah, send a message back. Tell our people we got tons of Democrats. Right, Jeremiah? Tell our Democrats they can send a letter. I will get the email where we need to send these things, and by the next show, we will have a place that you can jump on there and know where to send that letter. See, they don't understand. We are a mighty, mighty nation, Jeremiah. Yeah, we are a mighty, mighty nation. They don't understand that. They say, thank you for coming. You got so much thank you. And they say, keep exposing. Somebody says, okay, who am I? Okay, somebody say, thanks for coming on tonight. And they want you to keep exposing these demons. That's what tonight is about. And you know, when you expose one demon, you actually expose the other ones. Because, see, people didn't know this here little backdoor takeover was going on in the Democrat Party. I wanted to talk about it during the election, but everything was getting downplayed. Okay? Thanks for the super sticker, 45. A lot of y'all don't understand. It was a lot we wanted to say. It was a lot I wanted to say, but I didn't want to take and mess these people's career up. So I did it the best I could. I began trying to get the public to understand the improved order of the red man. Okay? Y'all need to put some of these things, so whoever haven't watched them, they need to go watch those. The improved order of the red man. They need to go back and watch Tom Akerlund, all about the green. They need to go back. All this stuff that's coming up this year, we done had shows on it already. Isn't that amazing? We can tell them, go back to archive and pull them up. Because we can move on and keep fighting. Look at that, we got Boston in the house. Look, all these places have Democrats. California have Democrats. Mississippi have Democrats. Alabama have Democrats. The Democratic Party need to hear from us no matter where we are at.
Right.
It is a nationwide organization. What's going on? You can just do what's going on in St. Tammany Parish with the DEI and the alphabet takeover. They get enough of them letters, they're going to be trying to check. They're going to be calling the state saying, what's going on down there? Okay, guys? And we got to start watching them in whatever state. And when they find out we're going to expose whatever state we see they're in, we're going to run them roaches back into the darkness. They turned the light on for them, and they went away for a while. Do y'all understand these things? Yep, Georgia have Democrats, Davida. I can't leave you out. But if you notice, the same type technique that was used in the past is being used again. That's right, Sunflower. California, Nevada have Democrats. You know, if they start hearing from you all from all these states, wanting to know what's going on in St. Tammany, North Carolina, that's right. Everybody got Democrats. You don't have to be in St. Tammany. We sending a national message. We got the game plan. And we need it to stop. And everything start, like I say, with one person. And if one person, if everybody on here tonight, I don't know how many is by television, y'all know that audience is way bigger than what's on here. We'll know after I get offline. And let's say we got 1,000 people, like usual, Phoenix, on here with no notice. Tell 10 more people. We just covered 10,000 people in a many states. Okay? We got to show them. We don't need the message coming from the top. We need to send the message from the bottom to the top. Yes, they're doing it everywhere. Yes. I'm not going to keep Marie long because we're going to have them back next week. Mm-hmm. And when I say them, we expect to have the chairman of the board, who's also a councilman for Covington.
The only Black person on the city council for Covington.
We only have one on everything. One on the city council, Slidell, one on the parish council, one on the school board, one on Covington Council. Do Mandeville have anyone?
I don't think so. That's a good question. But I don't think so.
So this is one of our national problems. And then they want to try to tell us 2026, the Democrats coming back. How? How are you going to come back when you're running your whites and your blacks? I want to do something while we up here talking. I want to put something on the screen before we close out because I need y'all to see this. Can y'all see that on the screen or do I need to blow it up? Can y'all see that? I'm fixing to deal with St. Tammany Parish.
I'll make it a little bigger. We can see it.
Make it a little bigger? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, hold 1 sec then. Just hold 1 sec. I'm going to get it bigger for you. What I want y'all to understand is people not trying to be funny is the idea. I'm going to come back with it for you. People are trapped by politicians and crooked politics. And we can't just keep saying it's the white people. No. I refuse to do that. All right, maybe I got it where we can get it up there now. Let me see. I want to show y'all some parish statistics. And you need to do this in your area too, so you know how powerful you can be. Okay, y'all with me on that? We're not using all of our power. We're going to have to unite our power across the country. That's how you get a president. A united effort. Are y'all with me? Let me get these numbers back up here because I want to go over this here really quick. All right. Let me see if I got this way. I can really just about there. I'm just about there. I'm trying to make sure I get it where y'all can see it real good. All right, here we go. I like this. All right, let me bring y'all back in. I would like for us to check our community Democrat leaders around the country, see if any of them is being tortured with some of this stuff, and maybe they're in the same position that Marie was in, and that position is who do you turn to when you're dealing with crooked politics. Okay, I'm fixing to bring this back in right quick. And Marie, what I'm putting up here is something with the statistics of the numbers I want people to see. These are some important things that y'all need to know in your area. And what I do here, Marie, is try to share knowledge with my audience. But we got this thing about some receipts, so we know what we're talking about. Okay. Y'all can see that?
To also know who your representatives are.
Yes, that's really important. Can y'all see where we at right here? It's showing up pretty good. Okay. What I'm dealing with here is the registration stats for February the 12th, my birthday, 2025. The total registered voters in St. Tammany Parish is 192,674 total. White registered voters, 153,928. Black voters, 24,897. Other, 13,853. And I know I fall in the other because we got Indians in here. And we mostly is others. All right, we fall in there with the other stuff. Let's look at the Democrats. Can y'all see that? The Democrats have a total of 40,760 registered voters, 20,759 whites, 17,158 black, 2,843 other. Y'all getting it? That's other races. The Republican Party has 91,321. Out of that, 86,041 is white, 741 black, 4,539 other. Other parties. That's in that independent. I had told y'all a while back the independent party is bigger than the Democrat Party. So why are we over there? We're over there because nobody wanted to hear us in the Democratic Party. So what's over there? 60,597 people, 47,128 white, 6,998 black, 6,471 other. So it's not really a Democrat Republican issue, Marie. It's an information issue.
Correct.
Because if you reach into educating this 60-some thousand people of the hijack, which most of those people left the Democrat Party. Y'all with me, Phoenix? I think I lost Phoenix again. Hold up.
No, I'm here.
Do you see those numbers when people say get your community together? She can get her community together, but they're not gonna outcount the whites if we were going on a black-white fight because they got more whites in here than they have blacks. Are y'all with me? So it's not a black-white thing. It's educate the voters across the country. Educate them. By educating the people. When we do that, we freeing it up. Savannah, Georgia, welcome. All of these places is important. All of you. Check your area. No, if you talk about them numbers I gave you, they didn't get them out the sky. I'm very active on keeping up with these numbers around here. Nobody's faking the numbers. Marie, you on the Democratic Committee. Those numbers sound pretty much accurate, don't they?
They sure do.
Y'all got to remember, we have the white flight from New Orleans, Jefferson and St. Bernard, and then we get the white flight from the north. Okay? So as these white flights come in, the black numbers is going down. St. Tammany number on blacks pretty much is the same that it was 40 years ago. So there is not really a black growth. We balancing out from death to some new birth. Even with the blacks coming in, a lot of them don't vote here. They still vote in New Orleans.
Right.
I mean, a great number of New Orleans have moved here after Katrina, but they are not voting here. That's the only deceitful numbers I see. We got more people riding the system, but they don't vote. And if you're going to live somewhere, you need to vote. But a lot of people live over here like a bedroom community. Y'all know New Orleans Party City. So we don't have that much kinds of parties that they like over here. So we're not popular in that. Do anyone have any questions before we close out on the show? Mike, I really enjoyed our guest tonight.
I'm very sorry that you went through things that went through and going through.
She took a great step coming on.
Interesting.
Okay, guys, back to you all. We're gonna close out because we want to get her back on soon next week. We don't want to take everything she got to tell us tonight, but then we can say this. I know for me and her, we both are proud, and I want to say this on here that the state chair did stand up today,
Yes.
and I want to commend him on that because nobody ever stood up in an upper position. Never. It's the first time. And if we start doing this from the bottom, we are the power. Okay?
Yes.
We the ones paying their checks, sending them to Washington and voting for them. And we the one they need to be accounted to. But they worrying about what's going over and I don't care who worried about Africa or whatever. I don't care who worried about what's going on with immigrants right now. I'm worried about what's going on with our citizens of the United States right now. We need leadership in Washington. Y'all understand that? Okay, guys? Now, if everybody tells somebody, and if everybody share this knowledge on their channel, which I see a lot of y'all, Davida, all y'all take whatever show and bring it. But y'all serve this dish up tonight. I think we had a very good seafood ball with barbecue on the side. Okay? That's right. Take care of home first, Sunflower. And that's what we fixing to do. And we see now those positions and titles and all this stuff is not taking care of our needs. That's like if you're hungry and I come try to give you some water to wash your feet. We hungry out here. We're hungry. But we've been the one, you know what's bad? They say the slaves raised the food and couldn't eat it. Well, their descendants still can't eat at the table. And it's time we come together, address these things. Let's start making some things happen. Let's start making them coat us for a vote. That's why I went to independent, because the Democrat nor the Republican can say, I got her vote. I can give it to whoever deserves it. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So if you don't deserve my vote, you're not getting it. One thing I think all communities need to do is build strong black caucus. I don't care if you're independent. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat.
Yes.
Build you a strong black caucus. The money you raise, do not put it out there for these people with ABC 1, 2, 3, or nobody else that's trying to get your money. You need to invest in your own communities. If you need t-shirts for whoever you supporting, raise your money. Get what you need to get the message to your people. And this is not the Obama, yes, we can. This is the Chief Warhorse. Yes, we can make changes. Okay? When Trump said America first, I just went with Davita. I'm going to hold him to that. Like I held Obama to yes, we can. Now, Obama lied because he's not the president, and no, we couldn't. Now, I want to see if Trump telling the truth or a lie. I'm not going to judge him by being a white man with orange hair that somebody else say is a racist. Because, like I said, I'm going to close on this note. Elon Musk, Trump, and a lot of these rich people that's over on the Republican side, these here just switched. They came off the Democrat side. Don't let nobody play with your head. And they didn't become tainted till they got to the Republican side. Then they are considered tainted. Something's wrong right there. Something's missing right there. My thing is somebody trying to play a game. And I respect this lady from coming and letting y'all know that she a part of trying to fight against and bring knowledge on the game and bring it to you. Nobody else has been bringing it to us. So I would like to say to Marie, thank you very much, Marie. Looking forward to having the chair here. The chair is a very intelligent man. But I don't care how much intelligence and power you have when you're dealing with a corrupt system.
Right.
It's not easy. I've been fighting this system all my life. And I do want you all to know before I close. I told y'all I got more done in St. Tammany out of Republicans who people call the racist than I did out of any Democrat in St. Tammany Parish. That's not a lie. That's factual. Y'all saw who I brought on my show. But we gonna let them keep playing the race card. They tell me we do it. They're the one playing race cards. And the Democrat Party need to come clear, and they have not apologized for the stuff that we all that do research seen that they have done. They not trustworthy because they have not admitted they was the one trying to keep people in slavery. They have not admitted and apologized that they was the one that gave back the power because they were the Confederates who took over, which messed up Mr. Waldo and them in Oklahoma and us out here. They talking about playing around with this Constitution. They were not supposed to let Woodrow Wilson be nothing because he was part of the Confederates. The Southern states was never supposed to be president of the United States. Do y'all understand this? So they play the Constitution the way they want to play it too.
Right.
And we are not talking about just white folks, Democrat, Republican. We talking about look at people by the content of their character. Wasn't that told to us? But we keep looking at people that look like our color. The white folks don't know who to trust with the white people. It's in all of our communities. But when they see we taking it real in numbers, that's where the change comes. Look what the community did. The community told the Democrat Party no. They didn't really tell Trump, we love you, like you, or support you. So ain't no need nobody thinking that meant the Republican Party have the black folks because they over there doing some stuff they ain't got no business right now. And then they're going to come back and lie in 2028 saying they didn't do it. And the Democrat Party can say they didn't do it. The Republican Party can say they didn't do it. But if most of the people can give their vote to a person that they know they can witness tried to fight for their communities. Let's stop voting for people because they drop in and see us as an easy ticket. I assume they came to St. Tammany just like they did in the past because the name is St. Tammany. We done did that show. Go back and look at it for those who don't know. The name itself, St. Tammany, means corruption. The name St. Tammany itself means take something from somebody else. Tammany Hall. Are y'all with me? Yep. St. Tammany has a mark on it that still they're wanting to raise up honor to the Confederate people. Slidell was a traitor. And still, he's honored all the time. It's us. That's right, Sunflower. No more easy tickets. And I wanted her on here because they got their blog. You all have blogs. A lot of y'all are bloggers. Okay? Let's start blogging that. And somebody gonna contact somebody. Why? Because they're gonna find out that the community is waking up from the bottom. Do you know a healthy plant only stay healthy if the roots is healthy?
Yep.
And the lady came and told us the roots are sick for lack of knowledge. We are not the branches at the top. We're the root of this thing. We're the foundation of this thing. Now we need to take some medicine. If it's a stomach ache, get some Pepto-Bismol. Go make you some tea. But this lady come to let us know that the root is sick. And we got to get it some treatment. I'm going to close on it tonight. We at 1 hour and 56 minutes, 54 seconds. I want all us to give a chance to tell our guests good night. And Phoenix, are you still with us, Phoenix? You still with us, Phoenix? I think we don't have Phoenix with us. As usual, what I do is bring one person from the audience to the show so that they can say what they have learned. That way you want to know. That way you'll leave here knowing that these people are listening. So I like doing that with my people because that's what give us a direct contact. I just dropped the link in on the channel. Davita, you're welcome to come on stage. Sunflower, you're welcome to come on stage. I dropped the link. Y'all welcome to come on stage. I'll let you in when I see you in the back room. Jeremiah, if you're there, come on stage. We gotta be getting ready. Thank you also for the new members that we took in tonight. Thunder, I'm gonna tell you, I have a thing I tell people. I tell them I walk with thunder and speak with lightning. Thunder make you rumble and lightning make you flinch. If those two things don't happen, that means I don't have enough God in me. I got to go back and come back again. Thunder is power, baby. Because you know what? When the thunder, you hear lightning that already been through. Pow! I like that. We're going to be like thunder with this fight. When they hear the noise, the lightning already passed. That's the aftermath. Power. We're not out here to get rich. We're not out here to make money. We out here to get some better understanding so we can help the next generation. And I thank each and every one of you for coming. I'm waiting to see if anyone coming on stage. I don't see any of my people I called. Phoenix, do you have any closing remark? Mike?
Well, people asking about Brother Lucy. They got a situation over there. I've heard some people over there.
Bogalusa do have a serious issue. Okay, I'm bringing on Goldeneye. Okay, welcome to the stage.
Oh, CEO, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Have any questions?
Uh-oh.
You
There is
there?
a serious delay.
Okay, not on our end though. You sound good.
Really?
Okay. Yes.
It's a delay.
Okay, we're gonna hear you though. Get your questions so that because we hear you, you have to wait to hear us. You know what I just said about thunder and lightning? Okay,
Uh-uh. Can I
let me
go
hear
out
the
and
clip.
come back in? Chief,
All right, baby. While you going out and come back in, I see Davita is on the stage. Davita, welcome on stage.
Thank you so much, Queen Chief Warhorse. How are you doing this beautiful evening?
I am blessed, and I was not gonna let an opportunity to share knowledge with our audience get away.
Yes, ma'am, because you are a great teacher, and we thank you for all you do in the community, and your civil rights. You've been doing for many, many years. We do appreciate you so much. And Miss Marie, we thank you for sharing your story because we see the corruption going on in our cities too. So just believe you send the emails that we need, and we will have an email writing um campaign going for you.
Awesome.
Dr. Fontaine Janice on stage. Davita, you done been here. You know. You done heard from my leaders here in this parish. Whites, they Republican. Y'all only met one Democrat, and that's Jimmy. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. It was beautiful. And I want to thank you again for inviting us all down to St. Tammany Parish to celebrate your seventh great grandfather, Chief Pierre Josin, his birthday. That was such a beautiful experience. And everyone there welcomed us with open arms. It was such a beautiful um, memorial to him. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Well, I do have an announcement to make. On June the 24th at 9 a.m., I'm gonna do a live where we are actually dedicating the name to, and y'all been waiting for this for a while, for the trailhead. Okay. And I'm gonna do that live so that y'all can share that occasion with us back here.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing with everyone.
Well, this is the only way we're gonna educate people when they say you can't do it. We gotta show each other we can do it.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
So we will share that activity with you all live. All right. Don't go nowhere, Davita. I'm bringing on stage one of my chief aide. All right, Jeremiah, what you have to say? Cousin Will, why don't you get in line next behind Jeremiah? Hit the link. I'll drop it again. Jeremiah, what do you have to say or ask? Okay, they say we got delays. We're gonna play with that delay. Jeremiah, the link is in the chat, guys. Okay, Jeremiah. Okay, turn your mic on. We can't hear
Okay,
you.
everyone can hear me,
There you
but
go.
I can't hear anyone. But
All
I
right,
just
how
wanted
you
to
doing?
kind of check in. Hey Chief, hey Cuz. So just I'm just thankful that y'all let me in today, and I know again I can't hear y'all, but I'm at work right now. So, but either way, y'all have a good evening. Yeah, later.
It's sort of amazing. We all talk about how these people are getting over, but it's sort of amazing that a white man will tell a black man or a black woman they more minority than them in 2025. You understand what I'm saying? And sort of like hold them under a gag. But like I said, I don't know what made Trump do it. Had to be God, but that law is gone, and they can speak up and share the knowledge of what they've been going through. I just wish Patrick Marie would have been still here to see that you are getting a chance to get the word out. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to cousin Will. We're going to Mississippi now, right across over on right there to Pass Christian. All right, Pass Christian, what you got to say?
How's everybody doing tonight?
We doing fine. What you thought about the show?
Well, it's finally it's nice to hear somebody finally coming out of the blue. It's just like she appeared out of nowhere to really show all the corruption and stuff that's going on there. We was hearing a lot of the stuff, but nobody really stepped forward to bring it all out. Let it all out in public like that, and that was a
Which
good
give
thing.
which give us a chance to know what to be looking for, huh?
Exactly. You get a lot of hearsay, but for somebody to actually speak up and let you know that's really what's going on, it brings a new light on everything.
Someone had something on here just now. I want to try to put it on the screen, and they are telling the truth. Sometimes they family. A lot of times there's an agenda between the two of them. I wouldn't be surprised if what's happening is not a setup. And I'm not saying a setup by the Democrat or the Republicans, set up by somebody within those two parties working together. Because these people done played both sides. Yeah, the roots got fungus, Davita say. But they got something to take care of fungus. That's called tell the truth.
Yep.
And we're going to take care of that fungus. Look how many states we didn't hit tonight. I can't even name them all. Um, Inside, say we need 12 more people to hit that like button. You 8, leave a tip before you leave. Leave a tip. Hit the like button. That's your tip. Repeat the date and time. I will go live on June the 24th at 9 a.m. with the dedication of the Bonfire Trailhead. We still working on the park stuff. Y'all know how that go. Still working on that, but we're going to get there. And we got a lot of more stuff to serve up. But this, I thought, needed to come to the table like right now. Okay?
Glad I could be a part of it.
So, y'all, I love y'all. I'm going to leave y'all. I'm going to see if I had anybody else in the chat that wanted to holler. Okay, we got Sunflower here. We're doing good. Let me move on to Sunflower. All right. Sunflower, what you say about tonight?
Hey y'all. I had to change devices. But yeah, I really enjoyed the show. I take my hat off to Miss Marie for coming up
All
and
right,
being
Chief.
bold. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you good. You can hear
Oh,
Marie?
Yes, it's been my pleasure.
She
It's a
says she can.
relief for me, actually.
Well,
well,
we glad to
yes.
see you.
Same here, Chief.
Yeah, being bold and just being honest and standing up, and we're going to do what we need to do to help you in this effort. This is not the first time that we've had to come together and do emails and write letters and stuff like that. So whatever it is, we will get together and do what we need to do. We will go to multiple platforms. The last time we did it, we were just on one platform, but we have multiple platforms that we could go to now to gather people together and do whatever we need to do to get the word out. So we are here standing with you to help with this effort.
So appreciate it.
Thank
And
you. Y'all been there for me, so I can tell her. I told her before she came on. I told her last night. I said I love my people. My people are intelligent. They're not just bloggers. Y'all are researchers. They go digging. You know, These people understand this team on here go see what's going on. Okay, they don't just get on here and chat. They work. Um, they sacrifice coming online, and they have other chats like they said. So the word gonna get out.
Good.
I know by tomorrow morning we'll have over 1,000 and some people that will be having the word, and then it'll begin to talk. And then the Democrats, I wish it'd be 1,000 Democrats or 1,000 plus Democrats by morning. Y'all got me because I'm gonna also give y'all the date early. I'll make a short commercial on the date that we're gonna have the chairman so that y'all can get our full group on here, everybody. I know it won't be what 2 days we won't be using Maria. It was 2 days you said the place wouldn't be available. So what?
Well, it definitely won't be Tuesday because they have Bible study, and I have to actually get with him to verify. But for sure, I can definitely say it won't be Tuesday or Wednesday.
All right, y'all got that. So it won't be a Tuesday or Wednesday, and she have to get together with the chairman, which he lives on the Covington end, and we're talking about doing this on the
Right.
Slidell end. Okay, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the next person, don't go nowhere. You don't have to go anywhere, Sunflower. I see Dr. Fontaine on here. Dr. Fontaine stepped on the stage. Talk to me. We would need to hear y'all men. We didn't hear Jeremiah. We didn't hear Will. I want her to hear the men's on this channel too. Dr. Fontaine, what you say about tonight?
Peace, Chief.
Blessings to
A
you
lot.
too.
So I thought tonight was eye-opening. It was um it left me in awe a little bit. And at the same time, I'm not surprised what what's been going on down there. I think you gave a very good analogy of Saint Tammany and Tammany Hall and even Chief Tammany, right? You know, when the exchange was made and like how that name over the past couple centuries has kind of been synonymous with politics.
Okay.
And I just want to thank Miss Marie. I also want to thank you, Chief. I remember a couple months ago we were planning on um, making a move with the Biden administration.
That's correct.
And you told us to stand fast. And we stood fast
Yes,
because,
y'all did. But you see what I was saying now, right?
yes, man.
Because if I would have let y'all jump out there, then they were going to make it a political thing and clouded the water where you couldn't see the truth or no one could see the truth that you were speaking. Okay. But now the elections is over.
Oh, you said that.
And at the same time, elections is over, the corruption is still there. Now it's time that we deal with it because it wasn't about the person, it's about what's going on in these parties with their agendas. Okay.
Right. Right.
And I appreciate y'all respecting me when I say, look, don't go out there right now. And yes, y'all stuck. And I appreciate that. That's called respect for each other. Um, what what I wanted to ask you, Dr. Fontaine, as a man dealing with elections, you and I talked a little bit about the Democrat and Republican Party a while back. That's why I asked you on the show. We did that by telephone, though. But I would like for her to know how the men feel because a lot of times the men was called ignorant by the Democrats, and a lot of y'all got offended by that. And I have all of y'all here to keep me up to date and keep this 65-year-old in the groove, okay? But a lot of people are not out here like this. They're not doing their own shows, and they don't get the feedback that all of y'all give me from around the country, okay? So I had said that both Obama and his wife alienated my people. Y'all know y'all was ready to clear a lot of them up. Maxine Waters and a whole bunch of the Democrats, Marie, what they were saying was down talking to the black men. Okay. And the Democrat Party should not have done that, because then they lost people that didn't vote at all or voted the other way or voted for Cornel West or someone to send a message. Am I pretty much getting that right, Dr. Fontaine? That was more of a protest than anything.
Absolutely. And it's happened for multiple election cycles, Chief. And I think one of the things that I pointed to is I really don't understand how in the span of about 20 years the Democratic Party went from a Dr. Cynthia McKinney to a Jasmine Crockett. It is just baffling to me.
So really what we are saying then is the Democrats is out of touch with the people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Straight up plastic.
So what can Marie do and what can the chair do? Once we know that the DPEC is going right now for St. Tammany. And if this starts spreading around the country, it might be going in some other places. Okay, y'all? But what do you feel? Because, see, they thought a lot of people out here is uneducated. I heard it more than one time, more than 1,000 times on the internet, when they was thinking black men and black women was uneducated, is why they were voting the way they were instead of hearing. What do you see that we could tell a person like Marie, who serves on the committee, directions that she could go to kind of uplift? I don't think she can save the Democrat Party. Um, they got to save themselves. But what could she do to uplift the black community's vote? I understand they got people working the white people vote, but what you feel as a male of color? What could be done? What would you look for a person to do right now, knowing what the stuff she just said is happening? You
I
there, Dr.
think yes, ma'am. Um, well, one, I think you said it, is listening to the people. Uh, I, when you listen to folks and understand their reasons and their rationale for why they vote, or the root cause behind why they're voting the way that they're voting, and not just writing it off as they're uneducated or um, what was the phrase that they was throwing around? Oh, they're just low propensity voters, right? Remember when they was saying that leading up to November and everything? But
Correct.
a lot of it was there was a certain line that the media had to tout, right?
Yeah.
And the line that they had to toe was getting Miss Emhoff, Miss Harris in office, and unfortunately, that did not happen. So, what I would what I would recommend is pointing to those media indiscretions versus what's being posited right now. And what do I mean by that? So, very simply, remember in July they said Joe Biden is the best he's ever been. He's GI Joe in the situation room, and what? Not even what 8 months later they saying that he's in the latter stages of his life. So one is to point out the inaccuracies of the media. Two, I would recommend, hey, Miss Marie, you have my support, and I'm pretty sure you have other brothers on here support. Definitely aligned with other brothers in St. Tammany that can speak to your abilities, that can speak to your 30 plus years in finance, right? Not relying on these what Phoenix would say, these nothing muffins that's just coming out of nowhere, sullying your 30 years of experience. And I would say, thirdly, join up with broad based uh, support in terms of different media outlets. Of course, Chief, but you know, other outlets, even individuals that don't look like us or that don't
Correct,
sound like
correct.
us. Yes,
Because
ma'am.
they need to know what's happening to us over here.
Right.
Dr. Fontaine, y'all know we have delivered these stories of the same Democrat Party. I think at least half of my shows is concentrating on how we being abused and have been abused by these people. And now we understand that people sitting at the table can't say nothing because they're not giving them the respect at the table.
Exactly.
So I
That's
wanted to
right.
bring it to the public. I promise you all that I was going to take my tribal knowledge and my civil rights knowledge and whatever I'm fighting under whichever hat, I want to share it with you all so y'all know what's really going on in the world. You know, I'm gonna have to say like Marvin Gaye. Everybody sitting around. I told her I got letters yesterday saying what's going on. You know, everybody was singing Marvin Gaye to me. So this is how this show came about because I had people from the state level contact me. What's going on in St. Tammany? So I figure we would come on here and let the world know what's going on. She don't have nothing to hide. She didn't take nothing. She's trying to help the community and they trying to gag her. And I told her if she come on here with my audience, y'all listens. Y'all get words out. But how many more people are under a gag order? And y'all know most of my show, most of the time, my people be white that come on my show. I ain't being, I don't pick on colors. I've had to fight white people. I've had to fight black people. I've had to fight Democrats. I've had to fight Republicans. Most probably some independents too. But I also don't mind helping a white person. I don't mind helping a black. But what they didn't do with the Indians, Marie, like I told you yesterday, no Democrat Party put the agenda of the misclassification of the black Indians on the table. Am I right, Dr. Fontaine?
That sounds right to me.
Yes, ma'am.
But they want our vote. So it's not about a party. Who is going to do the right thing and put the real fight on the table for the people that they want their vote? One thing for sure, as Indians of America, as blacks, be it called foundational or whatever, not African American, Negro, all of that stuff is in paperwork. They cannot be deported because then you're violating the Constitution to the heart. But if we don't come together, they can deport us because we can't even come together to stop the deportation.
Right.
And we need each other across the lines. They deporting white people and everything. I saw a white lady on there crying, thought she was an American citizen, she said. She was crying. They taking the 14th Amendment, Dr. Fontaine, they trying to flip it every direction they can flip it to try to make the 14th Amendment fit
They sure
what
are,
they are
Chief.
doing. Don't give us new words. Stick with the definition of the word that the people put there in the beginning. Dr. King, I don't care who said, did not fight for no DEI because there was no DEI in the conversation. I was with Avery Alexander, who was older than Dr. King, and he never told me about a DEI. He told me about civil rights and human rights. We let someone give us 3 letters, and it have caused more division than any unity in this country. It was a weapon. And the weapon is being used by who is the weaponizer. Y'all got me? We got to be way more smarter
Man.
than that.
Yes, Chief.
Way more smarter. But I'm going to let y'all go. I said it before. I got a bad habit from Reverend Alexander, and as I close, but this time for real, and as I close, I love y'all. We will be getting back together. We will expand the stage to have the chair Be prepared to come on stage because y'all know Chief bring y'all on. So I hear y'all. I want her to hear y'all. Y'all not just a chat room person. That's why we're gonna keep this channel working like this so we can do just what we're doing right now. You're right, Steen. Steen saying, how can we keep asking the slave master to set us free when we are proud, humans right is all we need. We got the power. We are the power. They afraid
Right.
of the less of us, the majority of them. And we haven't done them nothing. We have not tried to tear down the United States. We have not been out there trying to assassinate no presidents and congressmen and senators. We've been abused. We like a battered woman. We just stay there and keep getting beat because we don't have no money to go nowhere. We don't have nowhere to go because we from here. So we just dare being the battered woman of the situation. And they like the man that's abusing the little tiny woman. They know they got the bigger
POWs.
hands and the power to hold her down. He don't even have to hit her. He can just hold her down. And that's what they doing us. They ain't hitting us. They just got their hand on us, holding us down. So we need to dial 911. We tired of the abuse. Somebody put this in the chat. We tired of abuse of the Democrat and the Republican and any other sub-party that have disrespect the people whose hands have labored for this country. And our love have been deeper than the roots of an oak tree and spread broader than any immigrant that stepped foot on this ground. We are the roots, the blood, and the soil of this country. That's why we don't hurt this country. It's not because we was afraid. It's because we love our country. I'm not from them other countries. And I'm not afraid of Donald Trump. He's just another white man with some power.
That's right.
And we just witnessed tonight how the power is being misused. Now it's our job to take it to the multitude. I love y'all. I'm sending y'all all the respect, peace, loves, and blessings.
We love you
Okay?
too, Chief.
And until we meet again, and I know for a fact God gonna cover us to see each other and hear each other's voice the next meeting that I call. Why? Because we got a job to do. We got people to educate. If anyone want to make a donation to the tribe on what we are doing, you got the Cash App, Cooking with Chief show. Whatever you do, you can help keep this going. I'm gonna say like Reverend Alexander now. If I don't have it in the pot to keep it going, and we lose it, it won't be my fault because I done put it together and brought it here. So the restaurant is here, and now we out here barbecuing on the patio. Okay, we having crab balls on the patio, meaning
Love you,
we
Chief.
have become so powerful in a short period of time. We can reach around the country in a few minutes and get the word out. Let's make it grow. Peace to all of y'all. Thank you, Marie, for coming. Thank you, Mike.
My pleasure.
And this is just the beginning of the beginning. Good night, y'all, and God keep you.
Good night.
Good
Peace.
night.
Thank you,
Good
Peace.
night.
Chief. Have a good night, Chapisa Lachike.
Peace, Lachke.
Peace, like GK.